We must state clearly that this broadcast only makes it clearer that Tinubu is a dictator and not a Democrat. The broadcast only exposes Tinubu for who he is, a megalomaniac and unprincipled dictator who wants to use force and coercion to consolidate his power. We therefore call on all Nigerians to come out in large numbers to continue this protest on Monday until our demands are met. By now we would notice that the Tinubu government has gone to the press to tell the press to stop capturing this protest with the hope that they can kill us all in silence. Yesterday, before we started the protest, we were tear-gassed at the National Stadium. The cronies of the Tinubu government had gone online to say that protest is not holding today, that the youth are afraid, they can no longer protest again. But when that protest gathered momentum, they tear-gassed us and dispersed us. So this is to show that this government is only trying to use force and propaganda to stop us from actually organizing ourselves as Nigerians to demand for a better country. It is not too much to ask. The two-pronged approach of violence and propaganda has failed. The violence and repressions are just attempts to silence and control us, and the propaganda cannot sway or fool us. The struggle for a new and better Nigeria continues. We must not be tired. The future of Nigerians depend on our determination at this moment. And we use this opportunity to call on the people of Nigeria, especially those living in the FCT, to make their best efforts to participate in the protests as from tomorrow. We appreciate the fact that many Nigerians have trooped out to say that our demands are legitimate. This is the reality on the streets. And we must also point out that asking Nigerians to not protest, when that same government asking us not to protest, presently I got here late because there are 4 queues on the streets right now. So a government that is asking us not to protest but is making fuel scarce and making it very expensive, and the government would come on here and not touch on those issues and tell us that the fuel subsidy removal is still working. We want to ask, who is it working for? Is it the corrupt politicians who have built refineries in Malta? Who is the fuel subsidy removal working for? Is it working for the Nigerian masses? This is what we want to ask the Nigerian government. And this is why we are saying that please, Nigerians, do not be swayed by the fact that they have tried to keep you at home with the fuel scarcity. By the fact that they are trying to keep you at home, please come out tomorrow and protest. One thing we want to make clear is this. The court order to stop us from protesting anywhere we want, especially at the seat of power, which is the National Assembly and the 3-arm zone. That court order is not constitutional because Nigerians reserve their right to move on public roads. Public roads are built with public money. Nigerians reserve their rights to freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of dissent. We should not have to beg the government before we assert our freedom of assembly. And so we would like to tell this government that the only way we can dialogue is what we are doing right now. We are doing this now to tell the government that this is our dialogue. We are telling the government that our demands still stand. Reversal of fuel price to what it was before May 29, 2023. Reversal of electricity hike, tariff hike. Reversal of school fees increments across board. Reversal of all of the taxes that the tax master himself, Tinubu, has introduced. These are our demands, and we are not reneging on these demands, saying that God will save us. God needs us to save ourselves. This is not the time to start saying, Shebi God saved us from Abacha now, God will save us from this one. To know, this is not a military regime. And we must assert the fact that we are in a civilian democracy and we must be treated constitutionally as citizens of Nigeria. On this basis, we want to charge Nigerians that we must continue to organize, resist, and build till we have a country that prioritizes the people of Nigeria over the profit and power of a few people. This is not a task. This is not a task for just activist lawyers. We are calling on the NBA, which is the professional body of lawyers in Nigeria. The lawyers will have nothing else to defend by the time Tinubu tears apart the Nigerian constitution. If there's nothing to defend anymore, then the lawyers have no job to do again. The people will sort out their differences on the streets, and it will be chaos. And so we are appealing to the NBA, which is the professional body of lawyers, to join in this struggle and ensure that across the country, everybody, alongside the activist lawyers who are already taking up this issue, across the country, we get all protesters and detained Nigerians released. We are also appealing, because what we have heard recently is that the Inspector General of Police instructed hospitals that if there's anyone with a gunshot wound, they should report to the police first. This is something that's created crisis in this country last year in Abuja, when someone was not treated because the doctors were waiting for a police report. The same police came and said it is no longer necessary, that doctors can start treating people. But because the protest is going on, they brought in that policy again and are asking that if there's anyone with gunshot wound, the doctors should report to the police before they are treated. That only means that the police is preparing to shoot protesters and ensure that they don't get treatment until they are dead. This is the climate we are in Nigeria. And everybody must be aware we are now in a civilian dictatorship. We must be very, very aware of that. And we must be ready as Nigerians to defend our rights to have a democratic country. Thank you.